It's your boy, and we're back with another video on the channel, and today we're going to be checking out the GPD Win 4, baby. And if you're like, what the fuck is that? I don't know what that is. Why should I care about that? Well, do you care about playing games on the go and not being limited to just what's on Nintendo? Then we have got you covered right here, because the GPD Win 4, this thing is a beast, okay? This might be the best handheld gaming device out right now. I say right now because I literally just got it. It came in today. So we're going to get to all this right now. But if you subscribe to the channel already, please make sure to subscribe. We're trying to hit 10,000 subscribers. So a little bit of a backstory while I unbox this thing, alright? You guys obviously know the Nintendo Switch that came out 2017. But the year before that in 2016, GPD dropped the GPD Win. And it basically looked like a Nintendo 3DS without a bottom screen. But it ran Windows and could play games. Now it was 2016. So the games didn't really run well, and you couldn't run everything because, again, it was 2016. Hardware was different back then. But it showed the potential of what was to come. And they made a GPD Win 2, a GPD Win 3, and the GPD Win 4, which, while this doesn't rip off the 3DS aesthetically, it rips off the PSP aesthetically. It's like a PSP that runs Windows, which means you can run AAA games, what effectively is a PSP. Like, I mean, that's crazy, right? So it comes with this adapter. I think it's from Hong Kong, so they put an adapter in there, I guess, for charging, but I'm assuming it's USB-C, so you wouldn't really need to use that. But yeah, we got this nice little box here. It says here Win 4 on the back. You got GPD on the sides. Let's open this. Oh, look at that. So we got some text here. Quality, innovation, extreme service, with a link to the website. Oh, look at that, look at that. Oh my god, it's actually way better looking in person. I've seen it in so many videos, but like in person that looks crazy. Let's see what's in here. I'm guessing this is the accessories and jank and like shit like that. Let's quickly go through this. So for charging, you got a nice 65-watt brick, which again, it's USB-C, so this is going to be useful for even like charging your phone and other USB-C devices. So it's good that we have this. We're already torn part of the cardboard. Wonderful. Get out. Come on. Okay, we're supposed to open it that way. Okay, I can't even open things now. Alright. So we've got, it looks like some kind of strap, I guess, to keep it safe. You're on the go and, you know, someone tries to grab it. You know, some ruffians, some hoodlums try and grab your shit on the train. I've heard stories like the Steam Deck. Someone's like, I was playing my Steam Deck on the train and then someone at their stop just grabbed it and ran off. The fuck you doing playing your Steam Deck on the train and not paying attention to who's about to grab your shit? But with this, now they're going to be in for a rude awakening. No Crash 4. You have this shit strapped on. You're secure. Then we've got our USB-C to C cable. Again, it's USB-C, so if you got your own high watt charger, you can use your own, but it seems like a pretty sturdy cable. That material is really nice, so I like that. Charger, adapter, cable. But the only thing I'm probably going to use is this strap because I got my own USB-C chargers. Let's look at the big meat. Okay, let's get this out. Oh my god, it actually looks better in person. Like, it's actually nice to say something like that because a lot of the times it looks worse in person when you buy something. But this, ooh, it feels premium too. This is like how the PSP felt when you were a kid. Like when you were a kid, the PSP felt like big and like this huge device, like coming off of a GBA. When you become an adult and you go and hold the PSP, it's like tiny. But this is actually big for an adult. We've got another thing down here. I think it's like some documentation. Let's check this out. So you can see it's like a little bit of a manual. It shows you what you've got. So you've got your standard face buttons, L1, L2, R2, R1, etc, 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 etc. You can see on the left it's got a micro SD card slot, so you can literally just expand the storage even further, even though it goes up to 2 terabytes internally. You got the vents at the back. Shit that we're not going to translate right now. But yes, you got a screen protector here, so if you like to protect your screens, you can use shit like this. Me personally, I don't be fucking screen protectors anymore because I always get bubbles in them and I hate bubbles. No Powerpuff Girls reference. I like bubbles in Powerpuff Girls. You got this little thing that just keeps it secure. Oh, let's look at this. Oh my gosh. Oh shit. Look at it. Oh, it feels good in the hand. Analogs are a bit small, but it's like Nintendo Switch style analogs, which I think those are kind of small. The L1 R1 is just like the PSP one in terms of like aesthetically. It's like that kind of glassish feel to it, you know? And then you've got nice analog triggers, which Nintendo for some reason hate. I don't know why. And then, yeah, the original PSP had that weird like nubbin analog at the bottom, right? But here, I think this is some kind of, I think it's a fingerprint reader. You got select and start. And then you can see here you got a USB-A port USB 4, which is USB-C, plus and minus. You got power. You can see the vents at the back. You got these additional back buttons as well. Ooh, you can see that big fan over there. And then something else that I haven't mentioned yet, but is really important. Full-size keyboard, baby. So if you want to use it as a PC, like, or you want to play some game that relies on keyboard, okay, realistically, you're not gonna play a, WASD on this shit. Like, that's not happening. But like, if you want to use it for some non-gaming related shit, or even just to help you set up some mods or something like that, it's gonna be a lot easier to do something like that with this device here, especially since it runs Windows. So I think this is the touchpad for Windows, and this is the keyboard, and this is probably the fingerprint sensor, but I could be wrong on that. We'll see when we set it up. And there's a menu button down there, which I didn't see before. But yeah, this is pretty solid. Like, the D-pad seems very sturdy. It really does feel better in person. Even the face buttons, which are kind of small, still seem like pretty decent and clicky. Like, it feels more premium than I thought it was. Because, it's an Indiegogo thing. Sometimes these things be feeling cheap, but this feels good. Like, it almost feels like it could be like officially made by like Sony or something. Like, dead ass. Anyway, let's power it on and do a quick setup. Now again, it runs Windows, but I've seen people get SteamOS running on it because it is using standard like PC hardware. It's got a Ryzen 7 6800U. My version's got 32GB of RAM, 2TB SSD, but they got cheaper versions with less storage and less RAM. I went for the highest spec model because I'm a sucker. But obviously I just wanted more storage and things like that because I want to be able to run emulators and things on this as well. So assuming it's not anything too demanding, obviously, because if you play something really current, you're going to have to turn on a lot of settings. And what I'll probably do is just quickly set up Windows, download Steam, maybe download a few games and just test it out for you guys. You can look up videos to see the kind of performance you would expect, but if you know what the Steam Deck performs like, this has slightly better performance than the Steam Deck. And this has a 1080p screen, 6-inch IPS, so it is a better display than the Steam Deck. I mean, the Steam Deck does have IPS, but it's 720p, or technically 800p, and not the greatest IPS, whereas this is a better IPS and 1080. So especially for those older games that the power is not too high of a requirement for those games, you're definitely gonna have a nicer experience on something like this. Alright, now we can set it to English. So that does confirm that the left thing on the bottom left is the fingerprint sensor and the bottom right thing is the touchpad. Alright, Windows 11 is almost done setting up. Alright, we're in. It seems like they've already got the Steam set up preloaded on the thing. So the cursor does work from here. And then you could click things. So that Win control lets you configure the back button and the mouse model customization. So I guess tweak how you want to use Windows with this thing. I'm not going to do all that now because I want to test a few games first. So we're going to download a few games off of Steam and see how they run. Alright, now that we've got some games installed, we're going to try out Assassin's Creed Brotherhood. This is an older game. It's like over 10 years old, but it's like 7th gen era. And then after that, we'll test out God of War. Alright, controller's working just fine. It's X input supported game, so I'm not surprised it's working fine. Let's quickly just go into this file. As you can see, the frame rate counter is in the top right. It's very small. So right now it's sitting at about 60 FPS, although it started off in the late 40s as it was loading in. Yeah, it's sitting around the 50s, but it is entering the 40s. The settings aren't too crazy. Let's turn off post effects. Yeah, so definitely around the time when things are loading in, it goes into the late 40s and 50s. But when I'm playing it now, it stays around 60. Okay, it's dropping a little bit. But yeah, I haven't seen it go below the late 40s. But for some reason, those loading points really mess up the FPS. Yeah, it just happened again. It was loading something, and it started a bit. It's gone back to 60 again. That vibration is good though. And the speakers are surprisingly good as well for a small device like this. I mean, it's not that small. Just as a point of comparison, this is what the Nintendo DS looks like. So you can kind of get an idea. Right, we're going to try God of War now. Question is, does this set default settings that will work with this hardware, or do you have to set it yourself? Given the fact that the frame rate hasn't gone past 30 on the FPS counter, I'm assuming it set something for me, because I definitely run at 60 on my PC. Yeah, set it to 1080p, borderless. Although the FPS limit is set to 120 though. I'll lower the FPS limit to 60. So right now we're hovering just under 30 FPS, which is to be expected with a demanding game like this. But I will tweak the settings again. So I'm going to try using resolution scaling like FSR. We're going to put it on ultra performance and see if we can squeeze 60 FPS out of this thing. I mean, I doubt it, but we'll see. Okay, so with ultra performance, we're getting into the 50s in FPS. There's not really much activity happening here. But now it's dipped into the 40s, into the 30s again, back into the 40s. But a higher frame rate is possible, although 60 is probably pushing it. Let's try the render scale instead. So at 100% render scale, you're just rendering at 1080p. So if we lower it to effectively 50%, you're getting 960 by 540. But with the menus and everything still at 1080p. Let's see what we can get with that. So again, around that 50 FPS kind of region. And it doesn't even look too bad, like just looking at it resolution wise. But yeah, don't expect 60 FPS on a game like this, obviously. But I would still argue it's running better than it did on the Steam Deck. And the Steam Deck was only an 800p display. But yeah, I think that about wraps it up for this video. We showcased the GPD Win 4. And so far it's looking pretty solid. Obviously using Windows on a small handheld like this is not ideal, but I guess that's what we have to deal with. Unless you want to install SteamOS, but I've already got a Steam Deck for the SteamOS experience. So I'm probably going to keep this on Windows just so I have full compatibility of Windows applications. It's nice to have both, you know, have that variety. But yeah, let me know what you guys think about this device. Would you consider getting this or any other handheld gaming PC right now? Or are you waiting for the market to get more, I guess, matured? Make sure to like, comment, subscribe, hit that bell. More content coming soon to the channel. But it's your boy, PREMulous, Rem Gang. And I'm out.